I use crystal meth as a stimulant and to lean max. It's much more mild than Adderall, actually, and I'm pretty much using meth for hollow cheeks.
This is so insane. Saying openly that he takes crystal meth just to stay skinny and have hollow cheeks. This new streaming star isn't just cringeworthy or wrong, he's actually dangerous. We're gonna break this down, plus so much more, in today's episode of the Brad vs. Everyone podcast, my daily show, where we take on the craziest ideas from across social media and the internet, all from an independent political perspective. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and thank you for bearing with me through a lot of adjustment. I'm trying to soundproof this room better, so I'm putting up paneling, but still working on my shot and all of that. However, we're just going to keep going and keep talking about the content and the trending stories because they never cease to get more and more insane. And that's certainly the case when it comes to a rising star in the world of streaming, particularly in this case, the kind of crazy platform Kick, which is similar to Twitch, the streaming platform, but it's more of a Wild West, and a new person to rise not so organically, as we may discuss, is somebody named Clavicular. That is his name as a streamer, and he is part of the looksmaxxing community. Now, if you are a normal person or not Gen Z or Gen Alpha, you have probably never heard these terms. I'm going to explain it all, rest assured. But first, just understand, this is somebody who his clips are getting millions of views. Many of the people watching his content are minors. Many are impressionable young boys and young men. And he is putting out some very toxic, dangerous, and even illegal commentary and advocacy and messaging. Now, that's not to say it's all bad. And when it comes to the idea of looksmaxxing, I think, like anything, it's a question of dosage, right? A little bit of looksmaxxing, which refers to this online trend where you try to level up your appearance, could be a good thing. It's good to take pride in your appearance, to want to take care of yourself, project yourself well to the world, and try to be fit. Try to take care of your body. Skincare routines. All of this, I think, is great stuff, but they take it to crazy territory, as you will see. I mean, this clavicular guy has advocated for smashing your bones with hammers and then covering up the swelling with makeup. He does this all on stream. He takes all sorts of illegal drugs and other drugs that are like not approved, but you can buy as supplements, and then advocates this, even though he has no real understanding or background. It's genuinely kind of scary stuff, though some of it is just goofy. Like, a lot of his commentary devolves into this kind of rage bait, red pill adjacent style of like edgelordism. Here, I'll play one of his ridiculous videos here.
Water is such a cope, bro. The only thing that I'm going to drink is diet soda. Diet soda and energy drinks, okay? I'm not going to drink water. Water is disgusting. I hate water. Water is my worst nightmare.
So this is particularly strange and kind of typifies how these people just say stuff to say stuff. They just say stuff to be edgy, because part of what he does is he takes Accutane, he talks about skincare, and then you're telling people not to drink water or that you don't drink water. These things aren't adding up, actually. Being properly hydrated is good for your skin and just good for you in general. So if you really cared about giving people decent health advice rather than just being some 20-year-old stream troll, you would probably not say ridiculous things like this. But this kind of commentary, these kinds of clips that you've seen, and his clips have gone out to millions and millions of people through what's becoming known as like clip farming. They pay people to clip them up and distribute them on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, etc., and then pay them per the amount of views, the clips from their streams. So it is not some organic phenomenon, but this guy has been all over social media on the rise because of what's most likely paid clip farming. And some of it, like what I just showed you, is just like goofy, but some of the stuff he's doing is genuinely dangerous. I'll read you a headline here. Kick streamer Clavicular slammed for injecting cosmetic peptides into underage girlfriend during stream. Clavicular faces intense backlash after filming himself injecting fat-dissolving peptides into his 17-year-old girlfriend. Yikes. The video, which quickly spread across social media, has sparked serious concerns regarding unlicensed medical procedures, child safety, and platform moderation. Clavicular, who has built a sizable following through looksmaxxing content focused on appearance enhancement, has demonstrated significant influence on the platform. He once raised more than £27,000, around $35,000, in a single stream. Wow, that is remarkable and shows you that it's certainly not all clip farming. This guy does have something of a following, and to do that is just deranged. I don't know why you are injecting your 17-year-old girlfriend with anything. You do not need to be taking any kind of substances at that age in terms of cosmetics. I mean, I'm not sure you should at any age, but at least it makes more sense as you age, not when you're 17. And then, I mean, she's a minor, and you're doing this all on camera, on your stream, sending the message. This is not like a medication they had approved, by the way. This is stuff they're ordering off the internet. It's all so dangerous and so risky. And I come back to these platforms like that are just allowing this and letting people monetize this. That particularly is very strange. And we, guys, the funniest thing, and it's not funny, it's actually sad, we haven't got to the crazy part with this man, with this dude. We have yet to arrive at the part where this becomes truly insane and illegal, but we're about to. First, though, do make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet. Hit the like button. Do consider becoming a channel member. I'm going to post ad-free full episodes, so you don't have to just watch segment by segment, for members only. So do become a channel member. And guys, make sure you like, comment with your thoughts, all of that. Send in voicemails for my Voicemail Friday episodes where I answer your questions, react to your woke horror stories, give you advice on your personal lives, all of that linked in the description. Now we got to talk about the stuff that's genuinely like criminal. This guy is openly advocating for illegal drug use on these massive monetized streams that millions of people are viewing, and somehow it's all just fine and okay, and nobody's asking questions or pointing out how crazy this is. So here's a clip where he advocates that people do cocaine. Yes, seriously, he advocates that people do cocaine. Watch this.
Talking to Mike.
Always do. If you want to go out and have success with girls, always do cocaine. I'm fucking dumping back tonight, as you guys can tell. Not bullshitting.
So he is on Kick, on the live streaming platform, telling people to do cocaine, an illegal drug, and somehow doesn't get banned for this. And also suggesting that's going to help you get girls. I don't know what kind of girls you're after, but I think a good, decent, the kind of girl you'd actually be interested in building a life with would probably get the ick from you showing up coked out. I don't know. Maybe not in Miami. I will say that's where I am as well. And the crowd runs here a little different, but it's just wild to me that they can do this. And he actually, not only does he openly use cocaine and tell people to use cocaine, again, remember, the audience on these streaming websites is so many impressionable young teens and young men, and they're taking their messaging and cues from this person who, for whatever reason, they look up to, and you're telling people to do illegal things that can be dangerous. Illegal black market drugs can be laced with things that kill people. And yet he's doing this, and somehow it's all just fine and dandy on the platform's end. Now, here's where we get the craziest part. He has repeatedly, openly stated that he uses crystal meth to lean max. Watch this.
What drugs do you take in a day?
I'm taking testosterone every single day. I take minoxidil for my hair. I take dutasteride for my hair. I take 7.5 milligrams of Accutane a day. I use crystal meth as a stimulant and to lean max. It's much more mild than Adderall, actually, and I'm pretty much using meth for hollow cheeks.
This is so insane. You have a popular streamer that millions of people tune into, lots of impressionable young people and young boys watch this guy, saying openly that he takes crystal meth, an illegal drug, just to stay skinny and have hollow cheeks. Dude, your facial aesthetic is not that important. To take illegal drugs, that's a crime you just admitted to on camera, by the way, and potentially risk brain damage, heart issues, all sorts of long-term consequences and effects, and literally dying. You might say it's more mild than Adderall or ADHD medication. That is probably not true, and don't take your pharmaceutical insights from this guy. But one thing your prescribed ADHD medication isn't going to have happen is it's not going to be laced with fentanyl. It's not going to kill you in an unintentional overdose, but black market drugs like crystal meth that you take absolutely will, and that causes tens of thousands of deaths every year in the United States. Yet you have this guy encouraging his followers, if they want to look like him and have his facial bone structure or whatever, which, I mean, he's a good looking guy, but it's not even anything that crazy, literally telling them to use dangerous illegal drugs. How is this okay? How is this where the internet is at? Like, such an insane Wild West, and these platforms are allowing these people to monetize this content. How are they even allowed to publish this content? Admitting to crimes, advocating for illegal activity. Seems like that's pretty straightforwardly not stuff that should be allowed on social media platforms, because it is literally against the law. But yet it's just all over the place. These clips are popping off. They have millions of views, and this insanity is being normalized. Young people, particularly young men, are looking up this stuff and ordering it. And it all perhaps comes from this grain of truth that you should take pride in your appearance. You should take care of yourself and present the best version of yourself to the world. But you are not just literally the most important thing in the world is just how you look and your bone structure. And he portrays the most delusional standards of how people are supposed to look. He talks about Michael B. Jordan, a handsome actor. He calls him a 3.5 out of 10, which at that point, words and numbers are just meaningless. And anybody watching that is going to feel like they're ugly and ridiculous and can never be attractive. It's all so toxic, and it's part of this rising tide of this red pill adjacent content that is giving men terrible advice, leading them hopelessly astray, and exploiting vulnerable people with this never-ending dopamine chase and rush of saying crazier stuff and doing more and outlandish things. This guy could end up dead within 5 years. That is a very, very realistic outcome. Now, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that he gets help and gets clean. And I do think that his platforms, or at least his videos where he's advocating illegal activity, should be taken down or demonetized. And you should be checking on the young people in your life to make sure they're not listening to charlatans like this, and that even things that are presented as like just memes or jokes or trends, like some of the looksmaxxing stuff, they're not taking it seriously, because if they do, they could end up doing things that are genuinely dangerous. I'm growing concerned by this rising tide of creators like this who seem to just constantly be going viral in suspiciously inorganic ways, but ultimately will be up to us to make sure people don't fall for it. What do you guys think? Have you seen this person's content before? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, yada, yada, yada.